this came up rather quickly just because I know I posted April's review so close, but that's okay. It worked out that way because I'm really thrilled about that. That it's just I'm getting more in the rhythm of posting more consistently and more often because that is something that I've been wanting to do. May has actually leveled out. It was really quiet, and I think it was just what I really needed just because it just allowed me to still and look inside and figure out what exactly I need to fine tune up, and or just change entirely. I know there was a couple of highs that I had with this month. There were, a couple of lows, and that's kind of just like the balance I've kind of been coming to understand when I've done these. When it comes to understanding how I've been doing these, I think that's a proper way or better way to say it. I was able to see a good friend before, she goes to leave the country, which was absolutely amazing. Just enjoyed working with her. We are YouTube accountability partners and we're just great friends. We used to sing together in college. It's been so fun just being able to, see her again, as well as a few others before this huge kind of change or transition for her. So wishing her safe travels and best of luck, and that is, that's for Kimi. So I wish her the best. If anything, I'll have her information down in the description. She recently hit 1,000 subscribers, which I was so happy for her and her accomplishments because it's so inspiring to see that she does amazing work, and I absolutely love her voice, and I'm pretty sure that anyone who listens to her falls in love with her voice because she has such a beautiful angelic tone and she's just really awesome. So definitely check her out. Another great high that I had was, just being able to brainstorm creatively and be able to just be with other people to bounce off ideas with, which was really nice. And that has been so refreshing to me because actually before recording this video, I was writing down a lot of my ideas or centralizing a lot of the ideas I save on various platforms under like private pages into my content journal where I've been able to script out certain things that I want to do. So that was really exciting and inspiring for me, as well as instilling a new discipline. That was something that has been really huge I'm excited with how that's going to improve throughout the year, considering that we're literally at the halfway point of the year. I know I'm definitely going to do something next month with that, which is going to be exciting. It's going to be more like an accountability, kind of assess ourselves. Where are we at? Are we somewhere that we want to be? If not, how do we change that? How do we go about it? And I kind of like that. I like building that community of just having everyone come together and be like, where do you want to go? And how exactly do you want to get there? And having a community of people to keep you accountable so that you're not just pulling back or counting yourself out or just, slacking up. So I really love that, working on that every single day. And I really hope that it can be something that's beneficial for others. A lot of the lows that I had, again, is what kind of caused that discipline, that caused me to really go in and be in solitude and quiet and just meditate on a lot of the things that have happened in the past. That was something that really allowed me to focus in and just have a gratitude. I was listening to a lot of posts and seeing people talk about various things, and I just said, gratitude really is an attitude, and it gets you through the craziest of things because of the fact that your perspective has changed, which is huge. When you change your perspective and you apply gratitude to it, magic happens. I don't know how else to describe it other than just magic, because when you take things and you change it around and say, you know what? Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? You decide to ask, why is this happening for me? And then you kind of go from there, and it really just builds you up, which is truly incredible. The lows that I had, the first one was I didn't get to go to the pinup party I wanted to go to. I asked you guys in the community chat which dress would be great. I had it all together, and something came up and I wasn't able to go there, and I was low-key heartbroken. I was like, it was gonna be my first pinup party and I'm willing to go, but I know there's gonna be many opportunities that are coming up, and staying in contact with a lot of the amazing people that I met when I first went to that burlesque show up in February. I know there's gonna be more opportunities, but I wanted to go so bad. things like that happen. But if anything, the one thing about opportunities like that, sometimes they do come around, but there's other ways where you can be able to put yourself in more atmospheres where things like that happen more often. So I plan on doing that as well. So stay tuned for that. Another low that I really had for the month of May was Mother's Day. For a lot of people who don't know, I lost my mother 5 years ago, and Mother's Day is always like such an interesting time for me. And what I did this year was just really decide to tune inward and go quiet, just so I could figure out what I need to evaluate in myself and how could I best honor her by making sure that I can be the best version of myself that I can be. And by doing that, it allows me to really gain insight on myself and how I can best contribute to the people around me, the relationships that are in my life, and just kind of being still in that moment, which actually I got to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that night. Like I was full, I was quiet, I fasted the entire day, and I decided to treat myself to go to a movie, and I saw that one, and then I realized how sentimental it was to me, because that was actually one of the last movies I got to see with her in theaters, because she would always ask me something, and because she would know, she was like, I was sensitive, so she would always look at me and be like, did you cry? And I would just be like, nope, I didn't. And I was driving home, and I realized I was just like, in my head I heard like, did you cry? And then I was just like, yeah. It was just like bawling. But in that, I can have an amazing memory and know that it's gonna be okay, and it's okay to cry. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with it. I think she just did it to poke fun at me, but in a loving way. But I think that was just the greatest way for me to spend that time. And it's come to make me understand, like, can we just have like a Parents' Day? Kind of like how we have a Grandparents' Day. Can we just have a Parents' Day? Because, I wouldn't say like I'm doing the absolute best practices on being self-aware when it comes to my past experiences. But for a lot of people who aren't really taking the time to heal themselves when it comes to that type of experience, especially if they lost their parents in a very traumatic way, it doesn't allow them to heal, because again, it happens every year, and it's just like you're kind of reopening that wound. And so my heart goes out to everyone who just has lost a parent, whether it is like mother or father. But Mother's Day and Father's Day is so hard because like marketing goes around, and it's like, here's all the great deals that you can get your special mom, and here's the things like that. And then especially for people who don't really have those special relationships with their parents, with their mother or father, it's like for the sake of buying, it's like we're traumatizing people to be like, you should get this for the very special person in your life. And it's harmful, and it's not saying that, for the people who want to get those things, like, that's always possible. But I've always personally believed I don't need a holiday to tell me that I need to get something to appreciate the person I love in my life. I should just do that. Like, my actions should just show that, where it's like, I can get flowers for you without it being a certain day that's dedicated to that said, person. It's just like, here's flowers just because you were amazing to me. You carried me, for 9 months, or just thank you for being that mother figure in my life. That's always just how I've seen it, but that's a whole tangent in itself that we could talk about at another time. But I would like to know your opinions. Like, I've realized for sure in this time of solitude and quiet, I've become more aware on being vocal about those type of things where I've always kind of never really agreed with. So I would kind of like to see how you guys feel about that, because it definitely had me thinking when it came to journaling and everything. That's what leads to my lessons. It's like, with that season of solitude, sometimes it's really needed so you can evaluate what your stance is and where you're going and what direction do you want to go when it comes to a variety of things you want to do in this life. And I'm excited about where this journey is going, because considering that we're almost at the halfway point, I have grown. I was thinking of Groot, like I am Groot. I have grown. Wow. There has been a lot of growth when it comes to just evolving in self-awareness and how we want these relationships in our life to go, and how do we nurture them, and when is there time to prune them, or whatever it is that you need to do. And so I'm excited about how accountability has kind of stepped up a lot more when it comes to a lot of things that I do in my day-to-day life. And I would like to elaborate and show a little bit more on that. So I'm working on that process, but it's definitely coming around. I'm excited for next month too, to tell you a lot of great updates that's coming up as well. But I feel pretty good about that. And I'm very glad, because again, when it comes to these blessings and these seasons in your life, you can't force it. You can't rush it. You just have to trust, surrender, and go with the flow. It really is that, and sometimes in the beginning you could be reluctant to it. But once you let go and once you allow to just sit in the silence and allow yourself to really go through it, it's not as bad as you think it is, which has been very relieving. I think that has always been something in the back of my mind, but I've found a lot of peace in that. So I hope that whatever peace that you are looking for, it finds you and it holds you and it gives you wonderful contentment. I hope it finds you when you go to lay down, when you wish to rest, that you get that. I hope that anything that happens to trouble you, you're able to release it and get that rest from your mind too. So I think that will do it for me. I think that is a great way to review my May, because it was just a really good time to just reflect and do things that kind of got myself back in line in that way. It was like a nice alignment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you let me know about your comments down below. And if this is something to kind of share with someone, just share it with someone, whoever is just trying to figure out things and kind of find that contentment for themselves. Because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I definitely want to say, I'll put resources down below when it comes to just being more aware about your mental health. Your mental health is so important. You are so important when it comes to people that love you. I love you. I hope that you take the time for yourself and your mental health and your well-being. Please take that time to take care of you, because you are so important to so many. So thank you so much. I love you guys. You have a wonderful time. You have a wonderful day. I will see you next month. Bye.